Every paw has a story, some filled with love, some with pain, but all of them deserve hope. Welcome to Tales of Hope, voices for the voiceless, hope for every paw. Here, we speak for those who can't, and together, we create hope, one paw at a time.
Now, coming back to Asha, what we were discussing, in your experience, what are the most impactful ways individuals can advocate for these animals? As individuals, how can what are the things that we can do as individuals to promote more, to advocate for these animals who are basically voiceless?
Yes, every individual can advocate for their rights, for the rights of the animals, by doing basic thing. Okay, the basic right of any living being is what?
Shelter. I mean,
Food.
लाइक हमारे पुराने जमानों से चलते हुए आ रहा है कि रोटी कपड़ा और मकान इंसानों को चाहिए. अब इनके लिए रोटी कपड़ा तो नहीं चाहिए, पर रोटी और शेल्टर तो पक्का ही पक्का चाहिए इनको, आई गेस. पानी भी बिल्कुल, इट्स सो इम्पोर्टेंट.
So it begins with food. See, as I said, any living being, flesh and blood, that is flesh and blood, needs food.
Very true. To survive, I think basically it's to survive. It's not like the...
Yeah. So for survival, and this is, we live in an ecosystem. There can be no life on this earth without this ecosystem.
Absolutely.
जीव नहीं, जीवन नहीं.
बिल्कुल. I 100% agree with you.
Even the earthworm may look so tiny, this tiny. I don't like earthworm. But what is the importance of the earthworm? Only a farmer can say.
Exactly.
Because why?
They help in so much in composting what the decays that is there, and helps make the land rich. That is so true.
They get earthworms and they distribute them all over the soil. Right? They make the soil fertile.
Absolutely.
They burrow through the soil, and as you said, rightly said, So that is the small earthworm, which is so vital for this ecosystem. So if we kill away all if we say that we don't want earthworms, what happens?
I think then we won't have the fertile soils.
Agriculture will suffer.
Absolutely.
Then we will have no food. Isn't it? So
absolutely.
The most simplest of the examples.
I think it's
every living being is there in this planet, on this planet, because it contributes in one way or the other.
100%. I think that is something.
God's creations. God has created every species because there is a reason.
Absolutely agreed.
Now, all of a sudden, we say we don't want pigeons.
I know there is a whole lot of stuff that has been going around, and we don't even know. I mean, so are we trying to question the Creator's creation? That is what it has come down to, bottom line, I guess.
We become we become the most important species on this planet, and we've decided that there can be no other living being on this earth except us. And what will humans do all by themselves? If there's no other living being, we don't want earthworms, we don't want pigeons, we don't want dogs, we don't want cats, but we want only ourselves.
I think humans have become selfish. That is what it is. We become too selfish. Asha, can I ask you something? I mean, this is where we're going to. As per India, we have so much of spirituality and so much of dharam and culture that we are so enriched with in our country. And as we were discussing even earlier during the podcast, animals have been a part of our deities, of our हमारे भगवानों के साथ रहे हैं. How do you think it can be brought back? Because I think as humans we've forgotten it.
um, see, now, I'm talking about Hindu, because I'm a Hindu, so I can talk about my beliefs. It is said that when you feed crows, you get rid of the pitri dosh.
Dosh, right?
Yeah. If you feed dogs, you are actually, um, doing
वो
service
भैरव और शनि देवता का आपके ऊपर असर
शनि
नहीं
का
होगा
कि राहु
मेरे ख्याल
केतु
से।
का ऐसा।
हाँ, one of that it is
हाँ,
there. हाँ,
हाँ, yes, yes. So similarly, snakes. If you feed snakes, if you feed fish, you appease one of the deities,
deities.
isn't it? Yes. So that is there. I have, as you said, in Kerala, there's a temple where they
Absolutely, in
worship
Munnar.
dogs. Yeah. In Nepal, they have this. They do some puja. Uh, they worship dogs. I've forgotten the name of that. Uh, because I saw some videos of Nepal. What is it called?
What-
Um, it's a puja. It's a puja. They worship dogs.
Wonderful.
So yes, so it's so beautiful. Um, so all this needs to be, as I said, it has to be in every household. These are the values that we inherit from generations. Values that we uphold in our families. So why do we say that? When we were small children, my grandfather would say, "Apna pehla roti, the first roti you keep aside. That is for the dog.
Very
That
true.
was for the cow, or keep aside for a little rice for the birds. Keep aside one roti for dog. Keep aside a little of this thing for the birds." So all of that. So these were inculcated in us in childhood. Our ancestors practiced this. If you remember, when you were a child, your grandfather also
Well,
practiced.
in our family, we
So,
always had that वो first निवाला जो है वो निकाल के keep it aside.
first bite has to be
Yeah,
kept aside.
has to be kept aside. I think we've lost वो हमारे over the period of time हमारा वो culture लोग बच्चों में नहीं जा रहा है आज की as of today if
क्यों नहीं
I'm
जा
not
रहा है? That is the question. That why is it? Because we are not teaching. We are not passing it down to the
very
newer
true,
generation.
very true. I 100%
It has to charity. It says, no? It is said that charity begins at home.
absolutely begins right at home. First, we all have to start inculcating that in ourselves and then pass it on to our children. Like I 100% agree with you on that, Asha. Asha, coming back to this whole animal welfare that we are talking about, especially with India, how do you envision, India becoming more animal friendly nation? I mean, ठीक है, over the next decade, I would say, we talk about saving our cows, we do that Gau Mata and all that, but it's just one aspect. But taking at an overall, even the small animals, they have the right. How do you envision that India could become a more animal friendly nation, sort of thing?
India's always been an animal-friendly country, nation. There are many countries which have kill shelters.
Very true.
We do not believe in killing animals.
Right.
There are certain animals, there are certain countries, as I previously said, certain countries that have shelters. There are no stray animals, they keep animals in shelters. And if one has to adopt, they have to go to the shelters and adopt. Similarly, there are some countries which have kill shelters.
True.
There will be no stray animals, kill them. take them to the shelter, kill them. If the dog is not getting adopted, kill them. But in India, because we practice ahimsa,
Very
so
true.
we do not believe in that. All right, so India has always been an animal loving nation, and our general public, the general public is animal friendly, I would say. Where if you go to, I would say, uh, my personal observation is that I have seen, because I go around feeding animals at different points. So I've seen in the bastis, I have seen in the labor camps, they live in harmony with the animals, with the dogs and cats around them. They have no problems. Whatever they eat, they they share with the
With the
dogs and
animal
cats too.
too. Exactly.
Yes,
I think
yes.
वो
So
उन लोगों में थोड़ा ज्यादा है as compared to the educated class or the.
surprisingly,
Very true. I 100% agree to that. As compared, because even when I see closer to my mother's house, there are these busties out there, and I see all the dogs living. I mean, every lane you will see there are two or three sitting out there because they do get food out there. And how come? It's strange thing to see actually. But हमारे community societies में we don't
it is all
want
of
that.
a sudden we become very rich. We become rich, so now we don't want animals around us. We've forgotten harmonious coexistence.
We talk about,
But this,
it's like we talk that we need, but actually the narrative has already been said that we don't want animals in the society. I
yes.
guess that is what has
But
brought us down
if
to.
you want, and then the directive from the management committee or the residents would come, feed them outside the society. No, we cannot move around freely. But the same people, when they go out of the gate, suppose, for example, um, the dogs have to be fed outside. So all the dogs could be there outside. Then they have no problems in moving around.
No, but you see, that is what comes down, the bottom line comes down to, if it's in your society, you can, you try to be a boss sort of thing. But when you walk on the streets, what happens then? There are strays still. I mean, strays are all across the country, all
Yes.
across the nation. You go anywhere, they are there. So what do you do then? Do you want to beat them as well, or do you want to even kick them out at that time? So what do? You just walk by, isn't it? So
So,
why can't?
so now you had come up with a question that how the community can help. So here's my answer. The community can do a recce of the dogs around. If the dogs are unsterilized, get them sterilized. Reach out to your local municipal corporation. They are conducting animal birth control surgeries free of cost.
Absolutely, I know.
Yeah, instead of calling the corporations and asking them to take away the dogs and cats, which no corporation would do because it is against the law and against the ABC rules and against the PCA Act. So ask the corporations to pick up the dogs and get them sterilized. The dogs will be sterilized. You keep your population under check.
So true. I tell you, it's so true. But I think that is something that they will still not do. The only thing they'll make the call is to take them away when that is needed.
Call the corporation, take the dogs away, take the dogs away, take the dogs away. We don't want dogs around. And then there'll be a lot of fake bite stories, attacks, fake attacks, fake bite stories, and whatnot.
That's what. Asha, coming back to you as a person, what practices do you follow to advocate for animal welfare in your daily life? I think listeners should. I think it would be a part of an inspiration to a lot of people who would be listening and following us.
Yeah, I feed 32 dogs, 32 plus dogs daily, 2 meals a day without fail.
Wow.
So in the morning, yes, in the morning I come back from work, and in the night I cook chicken and rice with turmeric. Okay, it's just chicken and rice and turmeric. And in the morning, I carry that food and I feed 32 dogs, 32 plus daily. And in the night, when I get on my way back from work, I give them kibbles. You've given me a bag of maxi.
Please,
I really
don't
love
worry.
maxi.
That is
So,
just a small part of it.
but that's not a big sport, you know. They'll all, I've realized that they all love maxi.
Well, that has been
So yeah. So this is what I do, and I ensure that there's plenty of fresh, clean drinking water available. When you had come to my society, you had seen
I
there
remember
were
that.
water pots everywhere. So the
Right.
birds and the dogs, there are no cats here, but the dogs and the birds, they get plenty of water to drink. See, water is life.
Absolutely.
And as I said earlier, since there are no drains, open drains are all closed, so they need water somewhere.
I think it
We
is.
have to. There was a Bombay High Court ruling which clearly said that society is obligated to make drinking water available
Available to
for
them.
the community animals. It is every resident's responsibility to ensure that clean drinking water is made available to the community animals.
Asha, when we're talking about this, you feeding animals, what do you think are the pros or the benefits of the practice that you've been doing in terms of feeding these strays?
Point number one, I have ensured that there's a healthy population of community dogs around me. Very friendly, very affectionate, and they wait for me, and I miss them. You know, if I don't go on my feeding round, I cannot eat my meal because my mind is all over. You know, I'm obsessed with the fact that, oh God, they haven't eaten, so how can I eat?
Very
So
true.
yeah, so that is there. Secondly, since I've made them friendly, they're all vaccinated, fully vaccinated with 9-in-1 and anti-rabies. They're dewormed every 3 months. There are no ticks on their body. I ensure that they are, clean, and I try and make shades available. You know, whatever resources are available, I kind of make shades for them so that they are not exposed to the harsh sun rays or harsh winter or harsh
The rainy seasons.
sunlight. Rainy season. So they're safe, disease free. Especially in this season, distemper, tick fever, all these are on the rise. So we have to keep them healthy. If they are healthy, we are also healthy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they will not spread any diseases.
Asha, coming to this, another question would be, what challenges do you encounter while implementing, in terms of feeding there? It is because I guess as feeders, we all do have these issues.
That. Oh God, you asked me. When I go on my feeding rounds, I have people screaming at me, घर लेके जाओ, हाँ, चैरिटी करना है तो अपने घर में जाके चैरिटी करो, हाँ, and यहाँ पे नहीं खिला सकते, वहाँ पे नहीं खिला सकते. They'll come and say all sorts of things that come to their mind. Everybody is a boss. Everybody owns this land except the dogs, and the feeders are all treated as criminals, huh? Because you're feeding a hungry soul, you're a criminal. So, that is every feeder's nightmare. And I was assaulted once in 2023. I was assaulted by 2 men of my society. They came running and screaming and using abusive, foul language. And claiming that their father was bitten. There was no bite, but just they made a story out of it and kicked me, came running and said, "Hey, तेरे ऊपर FIR करेंगे, हाँ, कुत्ते को खाना खिलाया है, कुत्ते ने काटा." And they came and I had a bucket with me full of water because I was cleaning and replenishing the water pots, and kicked me, and the bucket fell from my hand. The whole water fell down. Bucket fell down. The water got spilled over, and yelling. And then I said, "Okay, I will complain." And how can you have no proof that we did it? So I took out my phone and tried to film them. The man snatched the phone from my hand and threw it away. So I ran and picked up my phone and I called my husband that he'd come over quickly and this is what is happening. And by that time, the man started. Probably it was a pre-planned activity, I'm not sure. But it appeared to be because within seconds, he had gathered a mob. And my husband came running and I quickly went aside and dialed 112 and called the police. Violent incident against him. And the two men, they were brothers I didn't know. Later on, I came to know that the two men were brothers. All burlesque men, weighing more than 100 kgs.
Wow.
So, a lot of feeders are facing these type of issues.
Well, I think as all feeders,
threats, assaults, and harassment, daily harassment. In spite of that,
I guess we also get socially boycotted from the community.
Ostracized. Yes, of course, we are going to get boycotted. Then I can share the messages with you that no mates should work in anybody who's feeding the animals. They should be boycotted from all activity. They should not be allowed to participate in any of the society activities, and all feeders should be removed. There are no feeders except me in my society, so I should be removed. In fact, my society secretary removed me from one of the groups and made a secret group without me and my husband.
I'll tell you what, even I have actually been away from these society groups, WhatsApp groups, because I guess it's more of mental pressure than anything else. If you're one of those animal lovers, I think then that is something that we have to all face.
Thank you. I have messages in my society WhatsApp group where one person can be seen inciting me. I don't answer to any of their provocative messages, but he keeps on inciting. Oh, such a coward. She's a coward. She does not reply. She's a coward. She does not reply.
I think
I don't want to answer. That is also
a problem for them. Asha, can I understand from you, how can we inspire our community as a whole, to take action for animal rights, for their welfare? How can we inspire these people around us? What are the things that you think could inspire them or change their perspective?
ऊपर वाला देखता है,
वो कर्म तो सबके बन रहे हैं,
ऊपर वाला देखता है. So yes, do good deeds, God will help you.
हमारे हिंदुस्तान में तो वैसे ही इतने सारे के सारे, अगर आप देखा जाए, कोई भी रिलीजन या धर्म हो, उसमें they all advocate for animal rights, but I guess we've forgotten all that over the period of time.
Why is it that we're forgetting all of it?
I think
what is the reason?
From what I feel, I think our parents, or not parents, but I would say it is our senior generation who has had no time to inculcate the right sort of messages to our kids, and it has flown down. I feel it hasn't flown down correctly. That is what it is.
So the first step is that we make visits to different schools. The NGOs can do it. PMC has already started. They're doing it in government schools, or even private schools. Even it has to be conducted in private schools too. So unless we educate our children,
I think
this
the next
this
generation will never see what needs to be done. I can 100%
it
relate
has
with
to
you.
begin by educating the children, going to various schools, and then in fact, 3 or 4 years ago, there was a Chennai High Court order which said that awareness sessions must be conducted in schools first, because children were tying firecrackers to the tails of the animals, to the tails of the dogs, and this is horrible. And the dogs
Absolutely.
and cats were dying, getting burnt. So Chennai High Court had said that the awareness sessions must be conducted in schools without delay, so that children know how
Very true.
animals suffer. This is
Absolutely.
not fun. This is not tying firecrackers to the tail of the dog. It's not fun.
It cannot be fun. I
You're
mean,
hurting. You're hurting an animal. You're
absolutely.
burning the animal. Burn yourself a little, and then you see.
I tell you. Asha, now coming to the close, when we're coming to the close of the session, or towards the podcast, I am going to let you have the open mic in terms of, speaking your heart out, because more we were trying to do. This is something, I would like the audience to understand, your favorite project, what's your vision, and how, people can contribute or come join the force of Shashwat Foundation.
So now, thank you, Anil. I have this project, upcoming project called Mission Annada. Mission Annada. Annada is Ma Durga.
Okay.
All right. And Mission Annada focuses on feeding drives across Pune city.
Okay.
PMC, Hinjawadi, everywhere. It is just that we've not yet begun due to paucity of funds, and it needs huge funding. Feeding drives all across, that no animal should be hungry. At least one good heavy meal every day must be made available, and all over 3 places that I said: PMC zone, PCMC zone, and Hinjawadi. At least these 3. Huge area, but we have to begin somewhere. All right, and it must start from the bastis. The animals in the bastis are suffering. They have no food. There's a lot of cruelty, and we need rice. We need chicken. We need turmeric. We need ovens to cook, and we need handis. So I appeal to every viewer who is watching this program: help us save animals, help us feed animals, and please donate in terms of you can help us by giving us rice, giving us dog food, cat food, or even in terms of funds. We have our 1280G. We can issue the donation receipts, but we depend on your donations. We are a donation-driven NGO, and everything depends on the funds coming in. So I appeal to each and every viewer, in whichever way you can help us. If you can help us with an ambulance, with a vehicle that can be used for feeding and for picking up animals that are injured and need medical aid, we would sincerely remain obliged to you. We also need, as I said, rice. You can help us with rice. You can help us with dog and cat food. You can help us with funds. I leave it to your discretion, whichever way. But we need help.
I'm sure we all, I think, as
That's my earnest appeal. Help us activate Mission Annada. The
Well,
project is there, but we've not been able to do anything so far because we need money.
I'm sure, I mean, Asha, I 100% agree with you. For everything that we do with the limited resources, what we have on our own, we're trying to do the best. And I think this appeal is a wonderful appeal which goes out to all the viewers and the listeners. Uh, for all the viewers and listeners, and on the bottom line, on the share, we're sharing out the code from Shashwat Foundation. You can reach out, and if you feel like donating cash or funds, you will have the QR code to donate. Or if you want to send us rice or dog food, dry cat foods, we will put in the address will be put in at the bottom. You can take it from there and help. In the sense, we appeal to all of you to come forward and contribute and do a small bit towards what we all are doing, and Asha has been doing towards the welfare of the animal.
Please, that's my earnest appeal to each one of you. Mission Annada is a beautiful project. If everybody pitches in, it can help so many animals, so many animals. No animal will have to go hungry. They'll get at least one meal a day, and you will see a very different Pune altogether. Happy animals around us. That is our motto, to make the animal lives easier, healthier, and happier.
I am sure about
And they
that.
can be only happy, and they will have easy, healthy, happy life only once they have full tummies. If they are well fed, well cared for, fully vaccinated, you will see a very different.
Asha,
Please help.
I would really put it up on the bottom for everybody. Thank you very much for coming on board and doing this session with us. And we hope we can reach out to more people and they can all come and contribute towards what we all are doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anand. Thank you so much.